What do you think about the so the study that said that Gen Z is aging faster than millennials? That's not true, right? I don't believe that. It's impossible, right? How can the Gen Z be aging faster than millennials if they were born in the 2000s, right? They were born, right? That makes them 1 decade younger than the millennials, right? Who were born in the 90s, right? The 90s and 2000s are not very far from each other, right? So we're very close in age, right? I think that's just a slur, right? That these older generations, right? Like the Gen X, the boomers and the elder millennials are doing against because they hate the new generations, right? Right? What Gen Z is not the bad generation. Have you seen Gen Alpha? That's the brain rotted generation, not Gen Z. Gen Z is closer to millennials, right? That's not true, right? I think Gen Z are right. I like Gen Z, right? If I ever get married, I'm going to marry a Gen Z, right? To show my support, right? I support Gen. I'm gonna marry a Gen Z, right? I don't want to marry an older millennial. No, I wanna marry a young Gen Z. You see? Yeah, if I ever get married, I will marry a Gen Z. They look young, right? They look just as young as they look the same as they look like they're teens, right? Have you seen like Gen Z? A lot of these Gen Z, right? These Gen Z girls, they look young, right? Like they're teen. You wouldn't think they're 20 or 30. Same with millennial. They look young. That's a hoax, right? I think that's a hoax, right? That's not true, right? I don't believe that, right? I don't believe that they say that the Gen Z, it's like the Gen Z star. I mean, that one may be true, right? The Gen Z stereotype, but I don't believe the Asian stereotype. That's impossible. There's no scientific proof. I'm tired, right? How can they age faster than millennials? That makes no sense, right? If they're 1 decade a year ahead, right? This makes no sense, right? I don't believe that Gen Z is aging faster than millennials, right? It's a hoax, right? You will see that on TikTok. You will see TikTok, and then the news they say Gen Z is aging faster than millennials. Gen Z is skipping their like teenagehood. What? No, that's Gen Alpha that's doing that. You know, for the kids that are acting like adults, right? Or the Gen Xers. Or this Gen Xers. They said that when they were kids, they acted like adults. No, we acted. Isn't there? Millennials and Gen Z, we acted like kids when we were kids, right? And we still act like kids. We act like kids as adults. The opposite of Gen X. When Gen X was young, they were already old and getting jobs. When they were old, when they were just kids, just teens. When they were just kids, just teenagers, they were already getting a job. Huh? Can you done? That's not right, right? When you're a kid, you should act like a kid, right? No, right? When I was a kid, I acted and looked like a kid, right? I didn't start putting makeup and dressing up like an old person and started getting a job and started working and no, right? And I still act like I can, right? I still know, right? I think we still look like kids now, right? Right? We should start acting like kids, right? Remember it says in the Bible that we should start acting like kids, right? So we should act like kids, right? The Bible says that we should, unless you have a heart of a child, it says, right? You will not be able to inherit the kingdom of heaven. Wait, so we should start acting like kids then if we want to inherit the kingdom. So yeah, keep watching cartoons, keep watching yeah, shows like My Little Pony and Thomas. Right? If you want to stay young, right? That's the secret. Then that's the secret of you. Stay so you don't want to become a grandpa, right? And don't get old. Don't have kids. And don't drink and smoke. Gen Z is not drinking and smoking. They're drinking. Yeah, right. So wait a minute. Gen Z is not smoking. They're not drinking, right? That's what they said. And they're not having kids. So Gen Z it's the other way around. Gen Z is the one that's not looking older anymore, right? No, Gen Z is looking young because they're not smoking, right? And they're drinking and having kids, right? So it's the other way around. Gen Z is becoming younger than they are now, right? It's the other. I think it's the other way around, right? Gen Z is the ones that's becoming young, right?